Okay, great. Well, thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Adriana, for inviting me. Today we're going to talk about modernizing your legal practice, and we're going to talk about Lawyaw's intelligent court forms and beyond. So that's the hook there. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tucker Cottingham. I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for the last 10 years, worked at big firms and small firms before starting this company, and now I have the pleasure of leading Lawyaw. So our mission really comes from my own experience as an attorney, but also from talking with dozens and dozens of other attorneys, which is just to increase access to convenient legal services. And this is something that we hear so often from clients, from prospective clients, that legal services are not transparent and they time intensive and all the things that we all know. And so technology is really one of the key ways that we can make legal services more convenient and enjoyable for people, and that is our mission with Lawyaw. And some background, just quick background on us as a company for those of you that are not familiar. We've been around for the last 4 years. We currently power more than 1,200 law firms across the US and Canada and a couple of other countries. We've had more than 1 million documents created on Lawyaw, so really very familiar with the types of legal documents and the types of projects that lawyers are trying to do, and admin and staff. And we've had more than 250,000 signatures. So the site's getting a lot of use. We've got a ton of lawyers on the platform, and we've been growing quickly. And so hopefully we'll be able to provide some value to you, at least share some information here. So quick agenda for today. We're going to talk about, programmable documents and what they are. Specifically, we're going to talk about court forms and Microsoft Word templates. So these are the backbone of legal practices here in terms of documents. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's new. So we're going to talk about our mobile-friendly electronic signatures. We're going to talk about exclusive free trial for Cleo users. And we're going to talk about client-facing questionnaires. And then we'll have some time for Q&A. But feel free to jump in as I'm going. If you've got questions, you can put them in the chat. I'm not sure if you can do the hand raising. If so, I'll try to call you.
They should be able to, yeah.
Okay, great. And I'm just looking at my little panel here so I can see how to do that. But feel free to jump in. Always more fun if it's a conversation. And so for those of you that have been to presentations of mine, you might have seen this quote before. I didn't come up with it, but I love it. If I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years learning how to do that in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes. And this is just such a sort of core principle to what we see as the future of the legal industry, because we're hearing from clients, all over the place that they're willing to pay a lot of money for help. And it's not that it takes the attorney time. There's a value to what they're getting from you. And that value increases as you get more experience. And it is not tied to the amount of time that you're sitting in a chair or the amount of time you're spending on something. It is tied to the value that your clients are getting from it. And so that's just a really important, concept. And I just love this quote. So I like to start with that. And then, to give you a sense of why people are using Lawyaw, what they're doing with it. This is just a quick quote from one of our customers, and he says that it used to take me up to 2 hours to generate an entire set of documents for my clients. In Lawyaw, I generate everything in 20 minutes tops. And what's important about the way that Lawyaw works is that Sam is using his own documents, his own language. They're absolutely indistinguishable from what he was doing manually to what comes out of Lawyaw. And so we work with your expertise, your language, your documents, and we just streamline it to make it a lot more efficient and a lot less error prone. And so at the end of the day, the quality is even higher because there's lower chance for errors. And really, it's your knowledge and expertise that are the engine that is making Lawyaw or any kind of workflow software valuable. So that's always an important point. We're going to kind of revisit that. But to give you a little bit of an overview here, so Lawyaw has a court forms product, which most of you guys have probably seen. We have more than 5,000 easy to use web-based court forms. We keep them up to date. We have all the judicial council forms. We have all the county forms. We have all the immigration forms, and they're fillable and they're pre-made. They're hosted to you in a fillable format, so you can combine 5 different court forms, put it in the client's name one time, it's going to go into the right place across all those forms. And you can combine them in any way you want. We'll talk about that. We also have a no-code tool to turn your Microsoft Word documents into programmable documents. And so this means that, with the click of a button, you can change subject-verb agreement or pronouns. You can drop in a section for custody if there are kids, and if there's no kids, it can remove that section. We're going to be talking a little bit about guided questionnaires, electronic signatures. Right now, people are using Lawyaw a lot to coordinate across their teams that might be remote. And so being able to ensure that consistent quality for your brand and for your work product is really easy when you're using Lawyaw. And then, integrating with your existing tools. So this idea of a workflow, digitizing your workflows, things need to work together. And then the thing that a lot of people say they like best about Lawyaw, we recently did a survey, is our support and our onboarding. So for people that are tech savvy, Lawyaw is very powerful and easy to use. For people that aren't, which is the majority of our customers, we have a whole program that is oriented around helping attorneys get on board, learn how to use it. We understand how busy you are and all the demands that you have. And, we've been in your shoes, and we have 5 legal professionals, as full-time employees at Lawyaw. So we're deeply, deeply familiar with all the challenges, and we try to make it as easy as possible to get started. So what are programmable documents? They are the key to digital transformation. So the legal industry is going through a digital transformation. Like all industries right now, we're seeing attorneys using things like Zoom and calendar scheduling and cloud-based billing, right? Email, like DocuSign, Dropbox. These are all digital services that are taking over, core parts of the legal workflow because they're more convenient, they're more efficient. And the missing piece really is, how do you get your documents to work seamlessly within, these digital workflows? And this idea of transforming inefficient and manual processes into streamlined digital processes, enables law firms to modernize and to just do more with less, which is a really big theme right now for the last year. A lot of our customers are saying, we want to do more with less. And whether that's because they want to make more money and grow their firm, but do it in a sort of predictable, responsible way, or whether it's because they want to reduce overhead and, spend more time with family or whatever, having the leverage over your time through technology is just really powerful. And we've seen this happen in every other industry, and the momentum is so strong in legal that this is absolutely inevitable. So hopefully that's all stuff that you all are preparing for. So how it started, document automation has been around for a long time. I used Hot Docs, and I've tried, every type of document automation when I was an attorney. Just took me a really long time. I thought it was hard to learn. I was really busy. That's why I wanted the document automation. Didn't have the time to learn it. Over the last, 20 years, technology has changed dramatically, and it's just a lot easier now. It's a lot easier to build templates. It's a lot easier to get data to work across platforms. It's a lot easier to collaborate and use, web apps. And so, on the right side is kind of a Lawyaw form. On the left side is, probably what most of us started with, or maybe even think of when it comes to document automation. What it's not is generic pre-made templates. So we're not giving you, a sample will with clauses that plug in. And the reason that we're not doing that is because we're not, lawyers who are practicing in every state across all these practice areas. It's really hard to get, really high quality canned language from a software company. That's true. It's not find and replace. It's not something requiring a computer science degree, and it's not a dangerous robot sent from the future. When we started Lawyaw, people were really worried that Lawyaw and other technology were going to, take away their jobs, and, robots were going to be lawyers. But we don't get those kind of comments anymore, which is kind of interesting, but we still like to mention it in case you're afraid. So what is document automation? So foolproofing your document creation process, setting up a system, identifying the changeable text in your own documents. If you don't have a good reference point, think about the last document that you drafted for a client, where you went to a previous version, you opened that up, and you went through and you changed it to apply to your current client. The things that you're changing in that document to update it for your new client, that's the text that changes in the document. That is a template that you're using. And Lawyaw is all about, reusing your previous language, making it really easy to make changes for new clients. And it's auto inserting clauses in text based on rules. So if there are 2 children, subject verb agreement's going to change. If you have no children, maybe you don't need a custody provision. If you have a certain type of power of attorney, you're going to have a different clause. So a lot of these things are predictable, but you're kind of the only one that knows them. And so we make it easy for you to take that information and get it out of your head, build it into a rule, and now other people in your firm can use that. You can move more quickly, and you can be sure that you're not missing things. And what that means for you is that, what we hear from our clients and customers is that they're saving a ton of time. So we've done a bunch of tests, and we're seeing 83% reduction in time spent document drafting, for instance, from Sam. Avoiding errors. So the more familiar you get with things, the faster you start to move, the easier it is to make careless mistakes. I don't think I've ever talked to an attorney who hasn't had the sinking feeling in their gut of, a client sending back an email saying, hey, this isn't my name in the document, or this is the wrong entity, something left over from a previous client. That sticks with you. And it's about empowering your team. So being able to delegate more work to team members, especially the first draft of more complex documents, really seems like something that a lot of attorneys feel like, I shouldn't need to be doing this. I'm doing the same thing over and over again. But for some reason, it's really hard to delegate. And so this gives a nice structure to make that, at least that first draft, really seamlessly, able for somebody else to do it. And then also just giving you time to focus on the things that are the most important. So, most attorneys know this is the highest value of my time. These are the things I like the most. I want to be meeting new people, getting more business, building relationships with clients, issue spotting, spending time with family, just relaxing. Things are very stressful right now for everybody. So being able to kind of have a little bit more control, have more leverage over your time without sacrificing quality is all things that attorneys tell us they like about Lawyaw. And so I want to take a few minutes and just kind of go over how Lawyaw works, and then we're going to get into some of the new exciting stuff we've got going on. But for those of you that don't know, Lawyaw has a court forms program. And as I mentioned, that's a library of more than 5,000 court forms, all county forms, judicial council forms, USCIS forms. And what you can do is you can create form sets. So you can say, okay, I want to create a set of documents that's case initiation for petitioner with minor children. And that's going to use, these 5 documents, and I can even pre-check the boxes in the documents. I can set up my header the way I want to, and I'm always going to use these 5 forms for this scenario. Now, when there's a divorce for, minor children, without minor children, different boxes are going to be checked. Different things are going to happen in the documents. And depending on how you want to set it up, you can save those as a pre-made form set with the check boxes and everything. And then it's very easy just to duplicate that, just basically copy it into a client folder, client information populates, you can go through and make your fine-tune edits. So once you click on a set of forms that you've created, or even an individual form, then you're going to fill out something like this, which is basically kind of a journey. This is all kind of out of the box stuff. The court forms automatically turn into these kind of web form journeys for you. You can see, okay, the attorney name goes, 5 times across my form set. Then when you generate it, you're going to see, okay, you've got all your different forms here on the right. You can reorder them and so forth. And then you can go through and make surgical edits. It's what we call surgical edits. So you can check boxes, you can break fields, you can change them. Basically it's like just editing a PDF in Adobe or something, but you've only had to enter the information one time, goes across all your forms, and then you can go in and do your fine-tune edits. There's also some status bars down here. So you can say, okay, this is in progress, ready for review, completed. That helps with handing off and coordinating with other people. You can download all your forms as a combined PDF so that you can, click print once. They're all going to print in the right order. Or you can save them as a zip folder where you keep your other documents, download them one at a time. You've got some flexibility there. We've also got a built-in Esign. So family law, very, very popular area for Lawyaw customers. These are some examples of what we see in family law. Also, our immigration forms. So this is a screenshot of the court form library, and you can see here we've got, county, state, federal. Got your own templates recently used. You can just search by form name or form number. Your recently used forms will start storing here, so you can easily access them. And then you can build a set of forms, a stack of forms here, and you can pull in outside attachments. You can reorder them, rename them, and really kind of build your filing all right here. The next step from this screen would be that sort of web form where you put in the information one time, and then you're on to your actual editing of the document if you want to do that. Another example is probate. So the same type of thing. You can go through, you can either create a form set, or you can just search through the library and one at a time preview your court forms, add them to your stack, put them in the right order. And for probate, for example, there's so many forms with probate, and we hear a lot that there's certain points in the probate case where in order to get paid, you have to submit certain documents. And we hear from some attorneys that, for whatever reason, that will cause some friction, delay them getting paid. So Lawyaw's been able to, make it really easy to generate those documents. And, again, adding attachments to your sets of documents here. I want to just point out here, this is a unlawful detainer. This is, again, a view of the editing screen in Lawyaw. You can add custom fields, so you can just drop a text box on, put in your different text there. And then I'm pointing out here that you can also go directly to Esign. So if you want to send this out for electronic signature, you don't have to leave the platform. You can just click sign. It's going to send that out. That's going to be a federally compliant, state compliant electronic signature tool. You do want to check with your courts. Even though there's a law that was passed that says courts need to accept electronic signatures, for whatever reason, we know that there are certain clerks that don't like to do that. Up to you if you want to fight that battle, but definitely worth checking in first. But there's no question that the momentum is going towards e-signing and e-filing. And like I said, we've had more than 250,000 signatures recently in our software. So people are using it a lot. So that's kind of the court form side, and that's probably what a lot of you all are familiar with, because we've been doing this for a few years in California, and we've got a ton of people that use it in San Diego. We also have a Microsoft Word template builder, and so you can see here in this screenshot at the top right the quill with the Lawyaw template builder icon. So this lives in Microsoft Word, so it's embedded into Microsoft Word. And what you do is you just open up your Word document in Microsoft Word like you would. So whether that's the last version that you drafted for a previous client, or whether you actually have templates that you use, you open up a Word document, you open up the Lawyaw template builder, and then this no code interface, meaning you don't have to write in, $, open parentheses, attorney dot, first name, close parentheses, underscore. You used to have to write in basically code into your document. Now you can just click on buttons. So you can say, okay, this is the partner's full name. This is the child's full name. This is the third child's full name. You can build conditional statements, which I'll show you in just a minute. And you kind of just highlight text, insert the different fields. And then when you save it, you click save down here, that's going to save it to the Lawyaw platform. So now when you log into lawyaw.com, this Microsoft Word template is going to be in your Lawyaw account. Really easy to just click on that template, add it to a template set, whatever you want to do. And then you can just populate it by filling out that kind of web form journey type of interface there. You don't have to create a separate journey, which is nice. So when you create your template, that's going to automatically create that nice guided web form for you. And it just keeps everybody on the same page in your firm so that they know, exactly what document they should be using. The document's going to behave like it's supposed to, and you can see when you generate the document all the changes that have been made. It's really, really easy. So just really nice for peace of mind, just knowing that everybody's using the same thing. The quality is going to be consistent, and it's going to be fast. And maybe before we get into this, the sneak peeking of new features here, let me show you a quick, I just want to do a quick demo here. So one thing that people say a lot is, okay, well, if you're using Microsoft Word documents, you know, why is that better than find and replace, or how does that work exactly? And I want to show you just an example of what a conditional logic statement looks like from the user perspective. So here we're looking at a family law document. This is really just a fake document just to show you this principle. We've got child 1 and child 2, and we've got Roseanne and Hank Williams. And what we want to do is we just want to click generate this document. And when you generate the document, we're going to see, you know, the language come onto the page. And so again, this is a fake document just meant to demonstrate this point. It says there are 2 children. And the rule that we're trying to show is if there's more than one child, show this paragraph. Otherwise, don't show it. And then we can see that we're referencing both of the children in this paragraph. So if there was one child only and there weren't 2 children in the case or in the issue here, then this whole thing should not show. So if we go back and we actually remove this child 2, now there's only one child, you know, that's going to update. Same Microsoft Word document, but see that whole paragraph is gone. It says there is one child. So subject verb change, the language change, the clauses change. And those are the kind of simple rules and triggers that you can build that just allow you to be more efficient and move faster. So I wanted to give you guys a quick view of what that looks like to get a better sense of what you can do here with your rule-based templates. If you hear the barking, that's my puppy in the other room here, so apologies. Okay, so now we want to talk a little bit about what's new at Lawyaw, some of the things we've been working on, some of the things, as Adriana mentioned, that are going to be coming down this year and hopefully in the next few months. And one of our mantras at Lawyaw is to fall in love with the problem, not the solution. So that means we spend a ton of time talking to our customers. We spend a ton of time trying to learn you know, where people have pain points, what we can do that's most useful for them. And so some of the big themes that have emerged that we're working on, I'm going to share with you today. So one of them is mobile-friendly electronic signatures. We've had the Esign for a long time. It's been working well. People like it. What we hear a lot is that more and more people want to be able to access this on their phone. They want it to be convenient. They don't want them to create a Lawyaw account, which they don't have to now. And so we've done a lot of work in terms of making this mobile friendly, making it really convenient, making that interface, you know, work with all the different phones. And that tends to just help you to get documents back quicker. You know, if you're sending an engagement agreement, it's nice that somebody can sign it on their phone. So that's been a big request, and that is now available, which is exciting. We also have a new Cleo App Integration. So for Cleo users, if you go to Cleo, you will see that they have a new app store. So when you log in, you'll see this app integrations. If you click on that button, you'll see a few featured apps here. These are apps that are already integrated with Cleo. So you can use, actually, let me share I'll show you an example. So this is what it looks like. So if you log into Cleo and you're here and you're on your dashboard, you know, you can go to app integrations here, and then you're going to see, you know, a couple of different programs. You can click add to Cleo. It's going to bring up a single sign-on. So that's going to be really convenient, just a super seamless way to include it into Cleo. If you want to learn a little bit more, you can click here and kind of learn a little bit more about what the Lawyaw integration does. But what's particularly exciting about this is that it's free. And so if you want to get a sense for just how does Lawyaw work, how does it work with my Cleo account, we've given a free you know, sort of pass to Cleo users. Some of the stuff is gated. So for instance, conditional logic statements, you know, you can't build those into your documents with the free version. There's some limitations there. The limitations are really just trying to kind of cut out the more complicated bits, because this is meant for somebody to get in, kind of play with it, understand it. But then, you know, we have help available. We have people you can just set up a call with to learn how to do some of the more complex things. For some people, it might not be complex, but we try to err on the side of caution there. So if you're a Cleo user, this is live now. You can go into your account. You can add Lawyaw. You can set up a time to get a walkthrough of the product. If it looks like it's going to be useful. Andreas and our team is an attorney. We'd be happy to walk through the product with you. Justin White on our team is an attorney. We can kind of give you the white glove service and show you how it all works. If you're not a Cleo user and you want to still see how it works, feel free to contact us. We'll still do the same thing. This is just built into Cleo, so want to share that with you all. The other thing that I'm really, really excited about is questionnaires. And people call these different things. They call them interviews and hot docs. They call them guided tours, guided questionnaires, intake forms. There's a lot of different words for it. Just think about it as information gathering. And going back to Lawyaw's mission of increasing access to convenient legal services, having convenient intake forms or questionnaires that clients can use from their phone and access and come back to later and submit, that's a really critical part of what makes legal services convenient for clients. So we've been spending a lot of time digging into this. We've had a beta version out for several months. We've maybe worked with some of you all, but a lot of the other customers have given us feedback, and we're going to be releasing soon a really robust, really exciting version of our questionnaires. You can see here that that's a court form on the right, so not just Microsoft Word documents. You can choose certain required fields. It's going to be very, very slick. Very excited about it. We've got the ability to enter content. So if you want to drop in a video to explain something to your client, if you want to drop in an image, if you want to drop in text, explainer text, and then you can make it really simple. Give them some buttons, yes or no. There's some logic. Okay, if they don't have kids, don't ask them about kids. Jump forward in the interview here. Would you like to flag other issues? Maybe some of your kind of higher volume type of work leads to other work. That's a really big theme with a lot of the small firms that I'm familiar with and that we work with. And so kind of creating a pretty low friction entry point for new clients, and then being able to flag other issues that they may need help with can be a really, really great way to find more business. And so that's something we've also paid attention to here with the questionnaires. And these are just some screenshots, but I'm super excited to be making this step. And if anybody wants to go a little deeper, I'm happy to. But this is probably the thing that I'm most excited about in terms of new features. And so I want to be mindful of time here. If you want to sign up for Lawyaw, we do have a bar partnership. You can go to lawyaw.com/SDCBA, San Diego County Bar Association. You're going to get 10% off your first 12 months. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to talk to you about any of our features, show you the product, answer your questions. We've got, as I mentioned, some other attorneys and legal professionals on the team. And as part of our onboarding, we actually do a little bit of a strategy session with you. So if you want to say, okay, well, how are other family law lawyers, using Lawyaw effectively? Or, what's the document that I should start with? Or how do I get this to work with my other systems? Or how do you think about enabling virtual assistants, in your account? And we've talked to so many attorneys and so many legal professionals that we can probably point to an example of almost every scenario you can imagine. And so to the extent that, that saves you time in a quick 10-minute conversation, can, help you choose what's right, we're happy to do that. The other thing is that we don't always think that Lawyaw is the best fit for firms. So, we're going to spend more money helping get you set up and on customer support and everything, in the first little while than we're going to ask you to pay us. And so it's an investment on our side as well. And so we have no incentive to try to sell you Lawyaw if it's not a good fit. So if you want to just know, hey, would this work for me? This is kind of what we're doing. You can definitely trust that people on the Lawyaw team will tell you no if it's not. When do we anticipate releasing the questionnaire feature? I'm just reading a question here that came in. We have a version of it available now. And if you're a Lawyaw customer, if you let me know, I can turn that on in your account. But we anticipate releasing the full questionnaire I'm not going to nail down a date, but I'm going to say in the next several months. So our head of product would not appreciate me nailing him down to a specific date, but soon. And if you want to use the beta version, let me know and I can turn that on for you. So thank you for taking the time. If there are questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. I'll give it a couple minutes here. Looks like we got a couple coming through. Let's see.
Well, Rachel, who's one of my favorite attorneys at the bar, she is so cool and so smart. And she actually ran a law firm before she became a lawyer, is a lawyer. I'm not surprised. She's on the cutting edge. My girl, Rachel. Damn.
Already a Lawyaw customer. Love that.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Tucker. Yeah. Why is your company called Lawyaw?
That is a good question. We get that a lot. I'm from Kentucky originally. That has nothing to do with why it's called Lawyaw.
No, sounds good. Stop right there.
No, originally it was pitch and yaw. So pitch being like up and down in a plane or something. Yaw being sort of turning on a vertical axis like this. So like a helicopter that stays still and kind of turns like this. Yaw. So we were thinking this was a way to turn the law to try to. Nobody gets it. They think we just have a funny accent, which is fine.
It's a stretch, but no, that actually it's cute. You can really turn your practice into something more efficient and automated. You can. I did not know that was a word for like that. Yaw is what that means.
Yeah, it's like turning on a vertical axis, I guess.
Huh. Amazing. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. I don't see any other questions. Y'all got any other questions for Lawyaw?
See?
I spent a lot of time in the Deep South. I do a really good Southern accent. And I'm Hispanic, Latin American, so it's kind of funny. All right, everyone, we'll take a few extra minutes. We're going to start again at the top of the hour. Please reach out to Tucker if you have any questions. He's very generous and sweet with his time, and appreciate you very much, Tucker. See y'all next time. See you at the top of the hour for everyone else that joins us. Bye now.